Cars are lining up for race 2 in the Toyo Tires Porsche Championship. Philip Waters, pole position for the 924s. Adam Southgate on pole position for the Boxsters. But the really interesting bit is Gary Lawrence, 4th place yesterday in the Boxsters, but having to start from the back of the grid due to changing his car because it was down on power. So we'll see if he comes through the grid. It's going to be a really, really interesting race. It's over now to Jake Sanson to take you through the rest of the grid.
Well, what that means is that Gary Lawrence will be going through the field like wildfire. Adam Southgate on pole from James Coleman. MOLYNEAUX and Bart's on the second row from Porter and Ludford on the third. Nick Hull, Christian Young and Gary Lawrence in ninth. Then it's Philip Waters and Gavin JOHNSON on the front row once again for the 924s, with Carl Rosson and Darren CONSTANT in the field once again. So that charge down to the real radio hairpin should be an interesting one. Clearly we've got a big battle on our hands. Southgate, Coleman, Nick Hull, Kevin Ludford and Kevin MOLYNEAUX all with camera cars. And away we go. Lights out here at Knockhill. Down to the final hairpin, the first corner. I can't quite get used to saying that. Not the greatest of starts for Ludford. Not a bad getaway from Lawrence, changing his car, having to start from the back. But now it's going to be side by side through the hairpin. Can Coleman keep it all the way round the outside? No, he has to hang back. We're on board with Waters. Not the greatest of starts for him. He's got both Johnson and Rosson in front of him as they head up towards his stops for the first time in this second race. Here comes Lawrence, trying to make his way through on the inside. No, sorry, that is the 169 of Bart's. My apologies. So Lawrence is behind these guys. We've got Kevin MOLYNEAUX making his way through up the road. This is Nick Hull we're on board with. And now here is the chance for Gary Lawrence to come through in the 93. He's already made light work of Christian Young as they come over the S's. Here's an opportunity for Christian Young to come through on Gary Lawrence. Can he get there? Lawrence really doggedly making sure he keeps Christian Young at bay as they come up through the set curves. And look, this is the championship battle. Southgate versus Coleman. I want this to be the way it is all season long as these two doggedly battle for position. Up and over the top. Let's see if there's going to be a really strong run from around the outside here for Coleman. He's being brave using that outside line of the hairpin. It's not an overtaking move. What it is an intimidation move. He knows that Southgate's going to be hard to pass. He wants to see if he can force Adam Southgate into a mistake. Well, Southgate will admit and be one of the first to admit that 2017 there were a few mistakes. But this year he's been working very hard to make sure he doesn't make any at all. A quick flick of the dirt there suggests that there is still a window of opportunity for James Coleman to find in terms of a pressure cooker. So is this race going to be about James Coleman pushing Adam Southgate all the way in the hope that there's an error? It's certainly a great battle at the moment. Impossible to take our eyes off these two. I think this is going to be the form book for 2018. Coleman, a great run out of the Seat curves. We're on board with Philip Waters. This is the battle for third place. Or he is third place, I should say, trying to get into second place in the 924 class. That's Carl Rosson in front of us. Up through the Seat curves and onto the main straight once again. This is a good run from Waters. Lining up Carl Rosson to try and come through. Back with the leaders in the Boxster class. Very close indeed this is between Southgate and Coleman. Up through his lops and up towards Clark's. This is going to be a really interesting charge. Can Coleman get Southgate on pure pace? Southgate twitches through Clark's. Has lost a bit of time there. Catches it well. But Coleman is definitely giving Southgate a lot of pressure as they come into the chicane. And Coleman is doing an absolutely amazing job to close up on Southgate. There's not enough room to carry the speed and get by just on pure pace. But Coleman is definitely giving Southgate a lot of pressure. If he gets it right through the Seat curves, he could be in the lead by the time they get to the hairpin. Up the power they come. Over the crest and the finish line. And is there going to be a whiff of a gap? Southgate's not going to give him any space at all. Here comes Coleman round the far side. Is he going to make the move through? He's going to back out and try and get the switch back. Southgate's wise to it. Brilliant racing between these two. I really want this to keep going all year long. So Coleman giving Southgate plenty of pressure. Through Hislop's and up towards Clark's. Lots of curve on the way in. Bit of curve on the way through the corner as well. That's Waters now in front of Rossin. Didn't see where he got through, but he's into second place. So it looks like it's going to be 1-1 for Waters and Johnson. Waters struggling to get in the gears there on the way out of the hairpin. Is that going to be enough for Rossin to come through? He was right behind him by a few car lengths back. I'm not sure he's been able to get quite close enough to make that way through. So Waters is okay for the moment. There is Rossin in third position. Having driven these cars myself, I can tell you they are a lot of fun to play with, the 924 class. These cars really, really enjoyable, and anybody who's ever had a go in one has come out of it at the end of it saying, I enjoyed that. Really, really good fun. Now Coleman's had to back down a little bit from Southgate, and I think he's coming at him again, trying to give himself a little bit more space to do so, because if he can pick him at the right point, he's got enough momentum at various points on the circuit to just switch by. We've got traffic coming up. That is the 43 of Darren CONSTANT in front of them. The 42, sorry, I should say, of Darren CONSTANT. Up and over the curbs of the chicane, and Coleman very, very much in command of himself there. He's got plenty of pace and really good speed. As, Southgate just catching CONSTANT at the wrong place. He's lost a lot of the time he had. This time, Coleman passes Darren CONSTANT on the circuit without having a very near miss. He's already had a couple of incidents this year, not of his own making, understandably. But James Coleman still pressurising Adam Southgate. This race is going to be won and lost in the traffic. It's as simple as that as they come through the hairpin. Back on the power. Down the short stretch towards Hislop's. You're on the power all the way through this, flat on the throttle. This incredible 1.2 mile circuit here in Fife in Scotland. A fantastic arena for motorsport. And while it doesn't get necessarily the same credence and credit as some of the other circuits in Great Britain, just look at the scenery around us. We are in the absolute picturesque, majestic views of Scotland. It's a wonderful circuit, Knockhill, and I've been longing to commentate on racing from it for the entirety of my motorsport career. Thanks to the Porsche Championship, this is my first Knockhill commentary, and I'm loving it thus far. There's the 33, that is Porter, running in front of Nick Hull. We're on board with the number 4 now. Easy to spot Nick Hull from a distance because of the Union flag on the car. And they're both now in pursuit of the man ahead of them. That's Kevin Molyneux, Dolly Molly. Anybody who wants to know where that nickname comes from, well, ask his daughter, who's a very good singer. And every time Kevin tries to sing, it doesn't quite turn out the same way, let's put it that way. But he's got a bit of a Dolly Parton obsession, hence the name Dolly Molly. So back on the power, Porter, Nick Hull, and behind them, I think that is Gary Lawrence. We'll double check as they come through, but obviously Gary Lawrence still trying to make up time, having to swap cars, which is why he's at the back of the grid, because you're allowed to do that over the course of a weekend. If your car is not feeling well and you've got another car at your disposal, you can change your car through the weekend, but basically if you decide to do that, then you will be impeded. Back to the back of the grid. Molyneux made a mistake there coming out of Butcher's, and that's definitely giving Porter and Hull an opportunity to close up. So now there could be a change for third position here. Porter's got Molyneux very well lined up. Is he going to make the move, or Molyneux's going to send him to the right-hand side? That's a good mode of defence from Molyneux. Side by side over the line. Porter's going to try and outbrake him and just coast it round the outside. Molyneux's still there to the inside line. Well defended. Good job, Kevin. Really well defended there. And now Nick Hull is very close indeed. Oh, Darren CONSTANT. Somebody's hit him. Somebody's hit Darren CONSTANT there. Now, I'm not sure whether that's somebody trying to lap him or... Well, I didn't see who it was, but somebody has clouted Darren CONSTANT, unfortunately. Let's have a look at it again. Well, that looked to me like one of the Boxsters. Again, I didn't see who it was, but Darren CONSTANT's been pitched into a spin there. And now we've got the leaders coming through. Third position battle, that is Nick Hull, trying to get one over on the two men in front. That's Molyneux in third, Porter fourth, Hull in fifth. Yellow flags. The safety car, safety car, safety car. Okay, so basically they have adjudged that Darren CONSTANT's car is in too vulnerable a position and he can't get it started. So there is the Honda Civic safety car. And Adam Southgate's lead over James Coleman is evaporated. Great news for James Coleman. Terrible news for Adam Southgate. He really didn't want to have to deal with that. This is Darren CONSTANT's car. stationary at the side of the road, and absolutely, he's in a dangerous position there at Scotsman's Corner. So good call from the officials to bring out the safety car there. James Coleman now needs to be very, very, very concentrated on that restart, because he's got a genuine chance now to win the race, and he knows it. So he's got to be very focused on how he deals with Adam Southgate on the restart. We're on board with Kevin Molyneux. He's now caught up to the two in front, of course, thanks to the safety car. Porter's in fourth. You can see, look, he's had a knock or two. It looks as though the right rear bumper's a tiny bit loose there, maybe. I could be wrong. Darren CONSTANT, meanwhile, they've got the car fired up, and he has been able to get his car started again. So that's good news. Now, is he going to bring it straight back into the pits as the cause of the safety car incident, or will he be able to rejoin the race again? Good work from the Orange Army, just helping Darren CONSTANT get the car back under motion again. But Adam Southgate leading the field around behind the safety car. And is this going to be a clean start straight away? I don't see any lights flashing on the top of the safety car. I think we may be about to go racing straight away. Does Coleman know that? Has he seen that from the safety car? Yes, he has. So now James Coleman knows that there is a good chance. Oh no, sorry, the lights are flashing. I thought they had stopped. So we're on board with Philip Waters as he now runs behind Gavin JOHNSON. I think they do need to run around the circuit one more time, because the field is still quite spread out. So just from a spectator's point of view, it would be great if we had a little bit more of a battle to talk about, and we're going to get one. Look at that. The field is now well and truly tightened up. I'm desperately trying to keep an eye on those safety car lights on the top of the roof there. I want to see them go out, because when they do, we'll be racing again. Southgate, Coleman, Molyneux, Porter, Hull, Bartz, I think that is, in sixth position. Then it is Christian Young and Gary Lawrence. So Lawrence has not quite been able to make up the pace that he wanted to. Lights still flashing on the top of the safety car for the moment. They just need to make sure that all the marshals are back to their relevant posts. They want to make sure as well that there's no debris to impede the drivers around the circuit. The last thing we want is to pick up punctures and cause all sorts of carnage from there. On this circuit, there's very little margin for error. So the Orange Army up here at the Knockhill Motor Racing Club doing a fantastic job. Is that lights out on the safety car? Yes, it is. And Adam Southgate is backing the field up. He wants to get a good rhythm early. I think he's going to drop the hammer from the Scotsman corner. But he's just boxing them in. He's just winding up James Coleman a little bit. Just trying to sense, when am I going to go for it? I think James Coleman thought that Southgate was going to go for it from there. I think he twitched on the throttle a little bit and caught out Coleman. I think he's going to go on the throttle from here. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Now he's going to belt it. And he has indeed. Oh, no, he's not. He's waited a moment. Now he's bolted. So Southgate absolutely determined to catch out James Coleman. And I think he has a little bit. To some extent, he's really caught in napping. So that's given them about a 4-car length advantage there. Adam Southgate has got away from James Coleman, and that could be enough to win the race. Molyneux is in there in third place still. Porter, Hull, Bartz, Young and Lawrence up the inside. Is that a move from Bartz? Not quite. He's not been able to make the move there. Young, Lawrence and Ludford are still in position. And then it's Gavin JOHNSON leading the way in the 924s. There's Nick Hull. Union flag on the bonnet and the bumper. And he's chasing after the man in fourth position. That is Andrew Porter. A bit of a twitch through the corner, but well collected there from Porter. You can just feel the car snapping away. But once you get that, you don't panic. You just come off the throttle. You allow the car to drift out. And you should be able to catch the car back with a little bit of power. And he's done that beautifully. JOHNSON leading the way in the 924s. That's Waters in second, Rossin in third, and fourth is Darren CONSTANT. Look at how much Coleman has done work on Southgate through this lap. He's got a great exit out of the set curves too. They're going to be side by side as they get to the first corner. I nearly said final corner. Here they come around the far side. Coleman again, just going the long way round. Now trying to get the cut back on Southgate. But Southgate knows that he's going to be there. This is great racing between these two. Can we do this every single weekend in the championship with these two, please? Knockhill doesn't have the most amount of overtaking moves on the circuit, but if Coleman takes advantage of a mistake from Southgate, then he should be able to overhaul him. He's one of those drivers that always finds a bit of a whiff of a gap and makes it stick. Whoa! Big moments from Coleman over the curbs there. The car was flying over those curbs. Southgate still pushing hard to try and get away. Coleman still retaliating with every single apex he's got. This is going to be a really interesting challenge. Can Coleman overhaul Southgate this time? They've got a little bit more time to play with this time as well. The gap is not as big as it was, and Coleman is still trying every trick in the book to outfox Adam Southgate. It's all about Southgate's composure now this race. He's got to resist every challenge that Coleman's going to give him over the course of the next few laps. Because we are running out of time, we are running out of race. There's the 924 lead battle. Johnson, oh, and off goes Rossin. Rossin's gone off there at Clark's. Keep the power on, Carl, keep it on, keep it on. You should be able to get out of there. Just keep it going, keep it going. What a save. Oh, I tell you what, there have been quite a few racing drivers in the past who have been stuck at that point of the circuit, and that's the end of their race, but well recovered from Carl Rossin. It has unfortunately let Darren CONSTANT through. Here come the leaders, and this time CONSTANT is not going to cause an issue for James Coleman. It was one of those things. Of course, I should stress there that Darren CONSTANT didn't do that to James Coleman in race 1 on purpose. That was just how they met each other at Clark's, and, you know, Darren CONSTANT did exactly what he needed to do. I think Southgate's window is a little bit open. Yeah, sometimes drivers like to have that little bit of a gap just to allow airflow to come through. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not in his case. And as we've got that battle for the Porsche Boxster class victory, we've also got one for the 924s. We were on board with Phil Waters there as they come over the main straight once again. There we are, on board with Waters, chasing down Gavin Johnson, looking for his first win of the season. Waters took his first win of the season in race 1. Rick Styron got both the wins at Alton Park, including his 60th ever victory in the Porsche Championship. He's not here for this weekend. Every time he says, I've had enough, I'm done, he always finds a way to come back and scratch that itch, doesn't he, Rick Styron? But here this weekend, it is about these two. Waters, again, putting pressure under Gavin Johnson. Onto the curbs, into the far side. This is going to be a really interesting challenge from them as they battle away for position. Oh, that's a little puff of smoke there from Johnson's car under braking. So pushing to the limit, up and over the curbs. Really exciting battle as they continue to race away into Scotsman's. Johnson a little bit wide. This is a good chance for Waters to overhaul him if he can get it right through the stay-at curves. Through the right, through the left. Well, that was well defended from Johnson. He pulled just across enough to stop Waters getting the ultimate draft, but there's still a chance. Johnson keeping that inside line well and truly protected. Waters is going to need to be drastic here and throw it up the inside. He doesn't. He goes to the outside to pull alongside Johnson. Johnson is still there to the inside. There's no way Waters is going to be able to take the lead round the outside at that point. Oh, we've got a proper squabble for third place now. Molyneux hanging on in front of Porter. Nick Bartz is there on the inside of Nick Hull, and Christian Young is not far away. 4 of them in immediate battle for third position, and Christian Young in 7th, not far away from it. Where's Gary Lawrence? He can't be too far away from this either. I think he's just dropped back a little bit. Maybe the new car, no better than the old, as it were. And now Nick Bartz in 5th position is getting very, very heated on the back of Andrew Porter, trying to come through for 4th position. Good bit of racing between these two as they continue to charge forward. But Kevin Molyneux hanging on to that 3rd position for dear life. He wants his first podium of the 2018 season. And up and over he comes once again. And is that a chance for Nick Hull to get past Bartz? He did run wide. Christian Young's coming through as well. This is going to be an interesting one as they come through down the main straight. Hull, I think, has left enough of a gap for Young to go for. Young is going to put his car on the inside line there. He's going to run out of chances to brake. God, he almost goes into the side door of Bartz. Goodness me. And further up the road, we've got those two side by side for 3rd place, Porter and Molyneux. Porter's trying to come through to 3rd position into his lots. Oh, this is even better than the lead battle. And somehow Molyneux holds on in front of Porter for the moment. Then it is Bartz, then it is Young, and then it's Nick Hull in 7th place. Molyneux again having to defend big star from Porter, who just looks so fast out of the corners here. Up and over the curbs of the S's. And down the drop through Butcher's. And then up towards Scotsman's corner. Well held by Molyneux. Still, the 33 of Porter absolutely determined to come through. Now, with these two holding each other up, this is giving Nick Bartz a great chance in 5th position to close up. Young's not far behind Bartz either, so this is going to be a terrific squabble for the final spot on the podium as they charge over the crest once again. Brilliant stuff, really exciting battles as they come through once again. Round the far side, Porter trying to come through to no avail. Now he's going to get a good exit. Molyneux's going to move to cover. Porter slots back into position. Looks left, looks right. Nothing that Porter can do to get by. Molyneux is defending beautifully at the moment. And this just tightens up the battle because we've got 5th place in there, that's Nick Bartz. 6th place in there, that's Christian Young. And 7th place in there, that's Nick Hull. Bartz has a go now at Porter. He senses he might get a chance into the S's, has to back out of it. And that gives Young a chance to have a go at him. Terrific concertinaing effect here in the Porsche Championship as they continue to battle away. MOLYNEAUX, Porter, Bartz, Young, Hull. Terrific stuff from these 5. Porter trying to go the long way round at the Seat curves. Is he going to get through to 3rd position? He commits to it. The backhand steps out and he's lost it. Oh, and I think 2 of them took to the grass, MOLYNEAUX and Bartz. Now, has Young got the momentum to get through into 3rd position? He is going to try and go for 4th. MOLYNEAUX's through. Look, that's Lawrence. They're lapping Lawrence. He's got mechanical problems. So that is Young through into 4th place. And is that Hull through to 5th round the outside of Bartz? Yes, it is. Good driving from Nick Hull. He's in 5th position. So Young, through all of that, benefits and moves up into P4. Good move from Young. But a real shame there for Andrew Porter. 3rd position. That was a really good chance to get through. But that inside line, he just stepped over the bump at the wrong part of the circuit. And it spit the car out. Here comes Bartz on the inside for Hull to get back into 5th position. Hull's got to concede that one. Brilliant racing. Oh, and that's a spin for Bartz. Bartz has spun it. On the way off of the chicane, Bartz has spun it. Now, where's Nick Hull? Oh, he's still there, so he did manage to avoid it. But, oh my word, tensions and pressures very hot at the moment. Double waved yellows because we've got Andrew Porter's car still off the circuit. But that already up front, we've had the 2 cars come through. All of that action happened. We didn't even see the leaders come across the line. Southgate taking the victory. Coleman in 2nd place for the 2nd race in succession. Here's Waters through. There it is. That was the replay of Southgate taking the finish line. So there we go. Southgate winning from Coleman. MOLYNEAUX in 3rd place in the end from Christian Young. Great drive from him. Nick Hull in 5th from Bartz, Ludford and Gary Lawrence, with Andrew Porter sadly retiring from the race as we saw. Gavin JOHNSON leading the way from Philip Waters. Carl Rossin in 3rd place and Darren CONSTANT in P4. Fantastic 2nd race at Knockhill. The championship's on.
Well, it was a tough round, so it was nice to come here and bounce back. I got pole and Phil beat me to the punch yesterday and won the race by half a second, I think. So I waited for the cameras to come out today and beat him. So yeah, very happy.
Phil, it was a tough battle there with Gavin.
Yeah, it was great. In fact, you know, I had an easy win yesterday, to be honest, and today was just so much fun. Because I mean, all I want to do is have a really good punch up, nice and clean, and that's what that young boy gave me.
Carl, certainly looked like you enjoyed your race out there, and congratulations on 3rd place.
Yeah, it was hard out there. We were trying a slightly different setup on this race from yesterday, and everything was going swimmingly till the restart, where it just locks up coming down into the first hairpin, and it was, oh my god. So, but and after that, flat foot spotted the tyres. That was it. So it was great up till that point. But you know what? It's a fantastic circuit. So you know what's not to like, really.